Listen up.
Ghislaine? Do I know you? You're not Ghislaine?
No, sorry.
No? Oh, I used to order hella pizza off of her.
Oh, really?
She always delivered, yeah.
Oh, no.
Yes, that was exactly who you thought that was. This is Maxwell. If you look at the woman in the video, it's the same woman. When he said her name, she actually looked. Same bridge of the nose and same spacing in the teeth. Even AI says it's the same person. The guy with her in the video is her brother. Looks exactly the same. We already know through the PDF files that J.E. did not hang himself. He was removed the day before. And guess who was president at that time? And they want us to believe that the woman they moved to a luxury prison, this person is that person. Nope, she's living her best life in Ontario, Canada. And how was she able to do this? Through the same administration that let J.E. leave as well. Sometimes I wish I wasn't awake because the information that we receive is just mind-blowing. It is absolutely mind-blowing how corrupt our government is.
There is no way this is Ghislaine Maxwell. This is the most recent photo of her released on Monday, February 9th, 2026. When you do a side-by-side comparison, the noses don't match, and either do the eyes. Looks like they've got the body double fitted with a cheap Amazon wig. When have we seen this before? Not only that, but the Friday before this picture was taken, New York Post conveniently got footage of Ghislaine Maxwell walking the yard in prison, and what do you know? They are now handing out umbrellas in jail. You know, to make sure her skin doesn't get damaged, or maybe so we don't see her face. The question now is, did she ever actually go to prison? She may have taken these photos in 2020, but the video from that same day seems to be somebody entirely different. So, what do you think? Did Ghislaine's appearance completely change in the last 6 years since she's been in prison, or did they swap her out?
First of all, Your Excellencies, Presidents, Lords, ladies and gentlemen, I just would like to thank you so much, and it's such an honor to be here. I'm here representing civil society. My passion for the ocean, for those of you, there's a slideshow going up there, so you don't just have to hear me, you can see the pictures as well. Started when I was a little girl. I grew up watching Jacques Cousteau on TV and became mesmerized with the oceans. It led to me becoming a deep worker submersible pilot. And ultimately, on one of my first dives, when I went down expecting to see a fish, I switched on the lights at the bottom of the ocean and saw a plastic hanger. It was in that moment, actually, that I decided that I really wanted to focus my attention on the ocean. And the area of the ocean that I chose to focus on was the high seas, which we've discussed so much here today. But for those of you who don't know, it represents 45% of our planet. And by the way, that 45% of the planet belongs to each and every one of you here, because it is our global commons. Under UNCLOS, it is ours. It belongs to each and every one of us, and the assets belong to us too. And I didn't know that when I started the history. The history of this started in 533 AD under Emperor Justinius, whips through the Magna Carta. Of course, I have to give a nod to England, and then ends up in 1982 at the Law of the Sea Convention. This area, our commons, are under peril for many reasons. One of the areas that of interest that I'm sure many of you are aware of is the shrinking ice of the Arctic. This is an Arctic map.
The fact that Ghislaine spoke multiple times at the UN tells me everything I need to know. And that is why I keep on telling you guys and repeating as much as possible, do not think it's only the Donald Trump administration that is corrupt. Because once again, Ghislaine, she spoke at the UN several times, right? So don't think it's only one side of the administration that is corrupt. Now, secondly, word on the street is that Ghislaine is free. Matter of fact, that been the word of the street, but it is hyping up again, because I'm pretty sure for the first clip you guys saw, which I checked and I'm not seeing that it's AI, but it still could possibly be AI. But for the most part, it ain't AI. Like, the video is real. And from the comparison that was, put on screen, that person looked just like Ghislaine. And I won't be surprised that she's not in prison. And I won't be surprised that Jeffrey Epstein is alive. Like, I'm telling you, these are powerful people we're talking about. Powerful people we're talking about. But I want you guys to let me know your thoughts and perspective on it down in the comment section. Remember to drop a like and subscribe, show some love. Drop a like and subscribe, show some love. Now, what I'm going to do is play the rest of her presentation at the UN for this specific time. And remember, she was invited as an expert. So I want you guys to watch the full video thoroughly and let me know your thoughts and perspective.
And you can see the little white bits, which are the high seas areas that will remain. The ice is melting, the Northern Passage is opening. This will just be one of the areas that need to be discussed and focused on in the time to come. What's the point of why should we really care about the ocean? So 90 million tons of fish caught a year, and about a third of the fish harvested are used to feed livestock. What that means is we're feeding that to our chickens so that they can taste more like fish. Unsustainable fishing practices, this is just an example of that, we're so clever as a species that we have advances in extractive technologies. This is a sort of map, or picture, if you will, of one of the largest fishing nets in the world that can contain 12 Boeing 747s, which is pretty big. The World Bank quotes, poor ocean management leads to approximately $50 billion in lost revenue annually. This is the actual tuna that was sold last year for $1.7 million. And I want to come to Palau, actually. As Karen said, 100 million sharks are taken out of the ocean, have their fins cut off, and for fin soup thrown back alive into the ocean to die. And Palau, very brilliantly, closed their waters to shark finning and ultimately shark finning soup, and turned what was worth about $200 per fin into something worth $1.9 million over their lifetime, as the president said so rightly, through tourism. I raise this again because it's absolutely vital that the combination between the use of our oceans, not only for the various reasons that both David Miliband said and Karen and others, for the oxygen and the food, but also there has to be a link between industry and the people and the use of our planet, so that all these things combine together to make a sustainable ocean, because without money at the bottom and without it's not going to work. So I started the Terramar project, and the point of the Terramar project is to connect each and every one of us to our global oceans, to the high seas, because it does belong to you. We give you a passport, a daily online newspaper, an education platform, a government structure, and a way to connect to your oceans as you never have been able to before. Fish do not vote, but we do. And if we do, and we tell our politicians that we want the oceans to become sustainable, then the goal is to have every politician end up with a policy framework and a decision on how they treat the oceans, and hopefully that will be sustainable, because that is what we, the people, want. A sustainable development goal at the UN is, I think, a fantastic thing. The United Nations is absolutely the right place to lead this. They are the only place that has this global reach. All the people can come together to create this goal that will then be the planetary mandate for the next 15 years of how we treat our oceans. So I really want the people, each and every one of us, 7 billion of us on the planet, to come together, to sign up, to get your passport, to make your voice heard, so that the UN and each ambassador can hear what's what we want, and all politicians know that no sustainable ocean means we won't vote them back into power. If we won't vote them back into the power, then they're out. We'll find someone who...
No, it makes you wonder, as I said earlier, that how many persons or how many of these top officials are really caught up in this mess? Because if I had to guess, I would say over 70%, if not 80%, if not 90%, right? Or probably some person it's more, but I believe it's over 70% of these government officials. Like, it's crazy. It is crazy because a lot of them are literally defending these stuff. A lot of them, they try their best to silence the victims. A lot of them, like Bondi, oh my God, she's a disgrace. She is an utter disgrace to the United States of America. And it begs the question, is Donald Trump a disgrace? I'm going to leave that for you guys. But what I strongly believe is that a lot of these government officials are involved, because the fact that she could have presented at the UN, right? That goes to show like how crazy it was. Yes, she was respected in society. She was an, high level member. And for her to be revealed doing those stuff, why isn't it possible for the rest of them to be doing that stuff? And that is why I believe, once again, that at least 70% of a lot of these top officials, they are involved in Jeffrey Epstein web. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. That's why so many names were redacted. Victims' names weren't redacted, but government officials' names were redacted. Like, that's supposed to tell it all. That is supposed to open your eyes and tell it all.
She is a monster. She's worse than Epstein. She did things even worse than Epstein did. She was vicious, she was evil, and she was a woman.
Her lawyers have said Ghislaine Maxwell is not a Jeffrey Epstein, that she has been a victim of media spin.
They're doing their job, but I know that woman. I've known her really well. Put it this way. Epstein was Pinocchio, and she was Geppetto. She was the guy controlling
the strings.
Jeffrey. Yep, she was pulling the strings. She had his money. He had her contacts. But Ghislaine was much more conniving and smart than Epstein ever was.
She had no remorse in her voice. Ghislaine has no soul. And you know yourself what I've been through trying to take her down. And the reason why I've had to go through that is because she's a dangerous human being. She will reoffend, and reoffend. These people never stop, ever.
No, everyone always hear that Ghislaine was actually the mastermind behind Jeffrey Epstein whole situation, right? They always say that she was the mastermind. A lot of victims said it. A lot of victims. And when I say victims, I'm talking about victims of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine, right? They always say that Ghislaine was the mastermind and she's worse than Jeffrey Epstein. Like, when you say that someone is worse than Jeffrey Epstein, and we know the things that Jeffrey Epstein does and is accused of, it begs the question, how bad was Ghislaine really was? Like, for someone to say that in this situation she was worse than Jeffrey Epstein, like, oh my God, like, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. When you really sit down and think about it, it's so freaking crazy. Ghislaine Maxwell, the mastermind, the one that pulls the strings, the one that is worse, the one that tortures more, the one that does, oh my God, like, it's crazy. Like, if you sit down and listen to some of these victims' testimony and listen to some of the things that they say, it's crazy, man. But I want you guys to let me know your thoughts and perspective on this whole Ghislaine Maxwell being spotted in Canada. Let me know your thoughts and perspective. Do you guys believe that she's truly in prison? Let me know. Do you guys believe, that she is in prison? Let me know. Let me know your thoughts and perspective, man, because I ain't going to no lie. Like, it's crazy. That's the only thing I can keep on saying, because it's really just crazy, man. I ain't gonna tell no lies. It's really just crazy. Remember to drop a like and subscribe, show some love. Drop a like and subscribe, show some love. But thank you for your time. Thank you guys so much for watching. It is the boy Premium Celeb, and as usual, I'm out.